Hello, hello, and welcome back to Hero Infinite with Zed.
I
Yay. Zed, who's playing his character, Zed. And
yeah.
I'm gonna start. Okay. We're gonna just try and hop into things right away rather than me meandering and burning time like I usually do. Yeah. I already did
Okay.
that for like an hour off recording.
Yeah, it was pretty funny, not gonna lie.
Alright, boop. Let's get his character music going. So, as we hold on, there we go. Is that a good volume level?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, as we begin, we open up right in the thick of it. Zed is running through the mall where he's sort of set up his temporary base, or his usual, like, hangout base location, and throws himself behind a short wall of cover. Or, a counter in one of the storefronts has gunfires ricocheting off towards him from one of the magical girls nearby, firing upon him.
Come on, I told you it's friends. Of course, it's gone now, but you know, I'm not a threat, so you can stop.
The one shooting at you is where is it? Velvet, the one with the shotgun, who's like standing in midair and just firing. If I recall, hold on, I did not write down. Hold on. So Velvet was the one who could walk on air. I realized I didn't write that. Do you remember what oh god, I can't believe I didn't write these down. Maya and Penelope were. Penelope had the sniper rifle. Did we ever see her a secondary ability that went with it?
I don't think so. I remember there one being like with a rocket launcher as well, and I remember.
Yeah, I have their weapons written down, but not their key abilities, or for all of them. I think it might be because their key abilities didn't appear.
Yeah, I do remember the one who was a popular girl. I forgot her name. That I bumped into. Yeah, her guns were
paintball guns.
Yeah.
And I believe Maya, the rocket launcher girl, was super speedy. Okay. Again, I gotta just fucking clean up my notes way better than what they are. Forgive me if things are sketchy sometimes, people. Yeah. That's my weak spot as a DM that I've been trying to fix, but I'm still not good with. And the more I struggle with it, the worse it's gonna become. Yeah. Or the more I like delay on fixing it. Okay, so she's just stood in the air firing the shotgun at you. And like as we pan the camera so that we go past them, and we have Missy running away behind cover. Stop it! No! Like waving has your friend Tanya. Tanya's like holding one of your spray paint cans, running towards her, like spraying it, running towards the magical girl.
That's funny.
And off to the side, we have, or you can see, Commander Miller currently in a hand-to-hand fight with Maya Holly, the green magical girl, the one with the fucking rocket launcher, which has currently been disarmed from her. And flying above her is fucking their cockatiel, sort of like squawking and trying to like peck at Miller, who reaches over and like grabs its neck. I'm not a big fan of talking birds in general, especially not when they're actually caught, or when they actually know what they're saying. And it's like, you know, like choked up.
I like the detective dog better.
Did you say I like the detective dog better?
Yeah, it's the better mascot, obviously. Of all the talking animals, it's the best.
Get a hero point. Everybody loves Rupert Scoot. Rupert Scoot.
Rupert Scoot. Yeah, but what next?
I'm now going to immediately bring up. Boom. We got the UI. So in this scenario, everybody, including Miller, is counted as an ally of yours on your sharing your turn, and you can choose to give commands to them. Like, you as a player, your character doesn't have to be the one issuing the commands. But if it's something that the character would not do, I may tell you that they're not going to, or I may just make them not do it.
All right.
Actual layout, the mall is split into 2 levels. On the section of the mall you're in. Some areas it's as high as 4 levels, but the section you're in is 2 levels, a long straight lined with shops on both the lower floor and the higher floor. Tanya, Missy, what's your other friend? Marcus. Tanya, Missy, Marcus, and Penelope, the sniper, are all on the 2nd floor. Well, and technically Velvet is as well, but it's because she's like floating in the air and looking down on you, you know? But she's within like the height of the 2nd floor. Meanwhile, Maya, you, and Commander Miller are all on the lower floor. Going from top floor to bottom floor is a free action, but going from bottom floor to upper floor is a minor action, as you like have to run to a set of stairs essentially.
Yeah. Okay. So for Commander Miller, I'd imagine that she has like a discreet way of calling in like reinforcements.
So you're hoping she'll do that?
Yes.
Okay. An action like that would be a minor action, so she would still have a major action. Again, if you don't have to issue commands. You can just leave them to their own their AI to my command.
Yeah, I want Commander Miller to discreetly call in reinforcements, and if not, punch her to death. Okay, maybe not to death, but Tanya, I'd imagine, will continue to just terrorize Missy. Marcus.
Huh? Sorry, visual glitch with the thing. Something I wanted to quickly do. That I meant to do. Yeah. So there's 4 magical girls. Every rule set will always, like, a fight might have slight tweaks to the rule sets. In this case, there are 4 magical girls, color coded to blue, purple, gold, and green. So what we're gonna do is blue, purple. I'm just gonna use orange, gold, and green. I want a different green than that. So, to knock the girls out, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For the combat. One girl will be knocked out if you can push the grid as far back as this point. From there, every other girl will get knocked out like over here, if you get what I mean. But knocking out the girl here is like, you know how there's the final point protection?
Yeah.
So as you eliminate points, basically what's gonna happen is it'll go in your favor, and then when you go here, the person's action either has to continue weakening the group as a whole, or you can choose to stop the person. You know what I mean? With a whole separate action. So, getting one magical girl out will be a little easy, but the rest of them might be a little bit tougher. Unique combat mechanics for different scenarios. Sorry, just...
Also, you're like cutting up on my end.
I'm cutting out on your end?
Yeah, every now and then you'll just like stop mid-sentence and you'll start again.
Hang on.
But you're not robot-y either, so...
I've got my mic as close to my mouth as I can reasonably get it without being like on it now.
All right.
I'm hoping it's just an issue on your end more than anything.
Maybe, yeah. Right, but yeah, right. Commander Miller, hoping she calls in reinforcements. God, fuck.
And also going to attack Maya, correct?
Yes.
The one who she was in a fist fight with.
Tanya is gonna probably like continue to torment little Missy, my spray cans, because that's funny. Marcus presumably would probably be helping her with his own set of like spray cans, since probably would have equipped them both with some.
Yeah, and that's a fair assessment to make given previous actions.
Yes.
So you want him also going after Missy?
Yes.
Okay.
For me, I'm gonna take a risk. My character doesn't really know martial arts, but I want him to try and like leap up and try and kick what's her face out of the air with like my empowered attacks.
Okay. Okay. So what order do you want to play out these roles in? Who goes first?
See, Tanya and Marcus, I feel like they'd be consecutive, but Commander Miller's stuff goes first, followed by Tanya and Marcus, and then me. And I also wanted to use 3 hero points.
You can only use hero points on your roll.
On my roll, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just like, you know what, we'll call that out when it comes to your roll. So, let's see here. Okay. Holy shit. So, Miller did not necessarily roll great. She basically is trying to attack, like, it's her and Maya are in, like, a fist fight, you know, like Miller is using, like, carefully practiced martial arts. Maya is basically street fighting. Like she's in no way classically trained in fighting, but in her own way of fighting is able to keep up with Commander Miller and avoid her hits. Whose turn plays out next?
What?
Whose action plays out next?
Tanya.
Tanya? Alright.
Yeah.
So... Okay. So Tanya, running after Missy, basically, you know, runs after her with the spray can, spraying at her, and is like getting spray paint on Missy, which actually, hang on, I'm gonna give that sort of a special mark there of.
Right.
So I'm marking this as sort of a semi-fill, because until you detonate it, it won't set in. So that little mark there marks that whenever you, on your turn, or as an action, choose to detonate paint, you will deal that damage.
Okay.
Unless they can get it washed off first.
Fair.
Now, Marcus, or I'm guessing before you?
Yeah.
And he's doing the same, trying to get paint on Millie, right? Alright, Millie did not roll good.
I thought it was Missy. Has her name been Millie this whole
Missy,
time?
sorry, I meant to say Missy.
Okay, I see.
There we go. So, the two of them basically, like, have Missy cornered and are spraying fucking paint on her. Which, kind of awful.
Yeah.
So now it is your action. Always be sure to remind me if you're getting dice bonuses, because I don't keep that in mind necessarily, because I'm juggling so many players.
Let's see. Okay,
and NPCs.
I spent the 3 hero points. Am I gonna get like the negative emotion buff right now or not?
Not in this scenario. There's not a significant enough amount of negative emotion.
Okay, cool. In that case, nothing. Just the 3 hero points.
Okay.
No.
So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes with 1 dice break, and they got 4 successes. So if you want to spend hero points to adjust that, let me know. Either way, you're dealing at least 1 damage. You know.
You already accounted for the 3 hero points I spent?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'll take it.
So, as you run at her, you like jump out of your cover. You know, she's been like trying to like hit you with the shotgun. You waited for a moment when she was essentially like reloading. Which they don't reload the gun in a traditional sense, because these are magical girl guns.
Yeah.
So rather than like putting shells in it, like after a certain number of shots, this area where the shells would go in sort of like lights up a little, and she puts her hand over it, and like a light starts to emerge from her hand into it. And that's when you burst from behind cover, run out of the store, and as you sort of like... So, you wanted to like boost jump, right? Do you want to flavor how that boost jump looks or works?
Basically, let's say there's like a bookshelf on the what's it called? On the floor.
Yeah,
right?
like some old furniture that you and your friends dragged out.
I would kind of like leap forward and then for a brief second basically kind of like do a handstand, right? Before like using my hands to propel myself upwards, and then like just trying to like kick her out of the air.
All right. As you do this and you jump up with the propel, how do I want to word this? Have you ever played Epic Mickey?
No.
Okay, never mind. I can't use that as an example then. You almost sort of like... The ink on your body forms almost a semi-jet effect. Like, with your kick. You know in like Street Fighter, when like Ryu just his punches and kicks, it has Hadouken energy coming off of it?
I think I know what you're talking about. Honestly, I imagined my attacks being more like have you seen Bayonetta's attacks?
No.
Okay, because her attacks leave these like trails. I'd imagine that mine would just look the same, just they would look more like a brush stroke. Let me see if I can find
that's
anything.
I think a better way of flavoring what I was saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Like you leave a brush stroke behind your movements as you do this, like both with the jump and the hit.
Yeah.
I like that way of describing it. Get a hero point.
Okay.
And you, she's sort of like trying to get her stuff together as you like go up, and basically, you said you had like sprung into a kick, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you fucking like kick her jaw and knock her back, and she goes flying back, but like then like catches her feet and like, you know, lands in a standing position, but like sort of wobbles into it.
No.
Because to re-describe how her flight works for everybody, it's not so much flight as much as she can walk on air, so her feet catch on whatever spot she wants to stand in the midair, while gravity still affects all her body like normal. So she sort of like catches herself standing, standing in the air, if you get what I mean. She can't stand sideways in this way, just straight up like normal or upside down.
Oh, so she's not like solidifying the air, is she?
It's more like her feet are like just she's standing on magic ground.
Oh, okay.
If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
And now it is the magical girl's turns.
Oh. This isn't gonna go well
So,
for me.
Missy, with your two friends, she's gonna be like, I didn't want to have to do this, and she starts spinning around, firing her paintball gun, like basically in a circle. You know what I mean? Like trying to hit them and knock them back with the little paintballs.
Oh.
And doing some rolls. Okay. Okay. Oh man, she did not do a whole lot. But she sort of stumbles them back a little bit with her blue paint.
Lol. Haha, haha, you rolled that, haha. My character could break the fourth wall, you'd be saying that. Which he has done before, but to the narrator, because it's funny.
Back in the day, I had a player who, in a post-apocalyptic campaign, had their character sheet. Like, as a character, they carried around their own character sheet.
Oh my god.
Which was a fun, like, so like whenever like somebody like, do you think you can get the shot? I gotta shoot a 5. You think I can make the shot?
Oh my god.
And everyone would just be like, what the fuck is he talking about? Hold on, there we go, adjusting stings a little bit. Sorry, mic stand was getting a little bit awkward in the way I had it positioned.
All good.
So, that's what Missy does. Penelope, who you might remember I mentioned was on the second floor but wasn't doing anything particular in the scene, she's gonna try and shoot you with her sniper shot.
Oh no.
What you gonna do?
I know exactly what I want to do. Okay. Would it be feasible for my character to blow up like several like ink things, including the one on Missy at the same time?
Yes, but this will count as a counterattack, meaning it will roll with 1 disadvantage.
Alright, I'm gonna spend 6 hero points.
6 hero points?
Yeah.
Are any of those getting rid of the disadvantage, or are they all just buying dice?
One of them will be for getting rid of the disadvantage.
You need 2 to get rid
of
of a disadvantage.
Damn. I'll just use them all for the dice then.
Okay.
No.
So you lose 1. You get 1 disadvantage, so you lose 1 die because of the your words. You know what I'm trying to say, because you're counterattacking. Which means it's 2 successes versus 3. So the explosions are enough to throw her off. But so Missy, you get the explosion go off on her, but you still get like skimmed with the sniper shot. So that's the end result, like the point effect.
Okay.
You deal officially clocking the damage on Missy, but you also take 1 damage yourself. So you know, like the shot sort of like skims your, like the explosions on Missy. You hear it's like ah, you like scream out, and like I imagine you're not trying to kill, right?
No.
So, like, cartoonishly, she just gets fucking blasted into the air, and a few of the other paint things go off around Penelope, and she sort of like flinches a little bit, and the shot hit like scrapes your shoulder, giving you a wound. And now it is Velvet's turn, who is gonna try and fire her shotgun at you.
Uh-oh.
This would be the second attack on you in 1 turn, so it rolls with a disadvantage by default, even if it's not a counterattack.
Can I spend 2 dice to
get rid of that?
Get rid of that?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to try and dodge as well.
All right.
You know, just kind of like do a cartwheel, but like backwards.
You got 2 successes, and she got 4 successes.
Uh-oh.
So, you take... Come on. You take... Alright, as you like backflip away, again, you get sort of like skimmed by the shot, and I imagine you're now behind the bookshelf that you had leapt off of.
Yeah.
And now, Maya is gonna try and continue to fistfight Miller. So it's worth mentioning the health isn't like your individual health, but the team cohesion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On both accounts.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
Okay. So the other girl's throwing punches at Miller, who is like easily avoiding all of the hits. The bird flying around her and squawking, and she like, as she's avoiding the hits from Maya, she's sort of like thwacking away the bird that's trying to peck at her. Calmly and collectedly. And now it is back to your team's turn. Jesus, one round already took, or just one round, then you took almost 20 minutes. I thought my system was faster than D&D. I guess that when I'm the only one doing all the rolls, it slows it down a little bit compared to previous tests.
That, and you're also having to run basically an 8-player, like 8-character combat, because there's literally 8 of us, so that's a lot.
Yeah, that's fair.
But, do you know what a Kieran is?
A what?
Kieran.
No.
Okay, it's a thing found in Japanese folklore, but it's actually something that also comes from China, Vietnam, Korea. It's like the nine-tailed fox, where it's like present in a lot of Asian cultures.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get a good picture of it, because it is a very specific creature. It's like one of those like holy creatures. Oh, that's the way of describing it. It's like the Chinese unicorn or Japanese unicorn, basically. But
if you find it, can you throw it up into Ollyric Talk on the Gas Network?
Sure.
And then I'm gonna show on. Oh, I have seen these creatures.
Nee. Basically, I want one to come out of like one of the paintings I have nearby, and I want to tell everyone to leap onto it, and I want it to like, I want to focus on like keeping it together so that the team can like run away. So,
I'm on the fence on if I want to charge you hero points for this or not, because we have established that you've painted a bunch of things, but we never established a Kieran specifically. It was mostly focused on, one, a big dragon, and other than that, mostly paintings and small trees and small
scenery,
creatures.
Basically, yeah.
So I'll say you can do it for a single hero point. It would be more expensive in other scenarios, but because we're in your mall, it's cheap.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. But I also want to spend another 2 for keeping the thing together, since it has to be pretty big to carry 4 people.
I imagine like it's about this a little bit bigger than a lion.
Maybe about as big as maybe like a horse, a bit bigger even.
Okay, a little like maybe cow-sized or bull.
Yeah.
And so you wanted it to run and basically get everyone in the group together on it?
Yeah, I want everyone else in the group to basically like leap onto it so that we could run away.
Okay. As you start to get everyone on it, Miller is not going to willingly get on it. She's going to basically tell you guys to go, and she's like, I'll handle this. I'll handle these kids.
That's okay, so I'm leaving her.
Yeah.
But I trust her. I'm gonna be like, okay, Miller, see you at the base. Bye.
So, all right. I'm gonna go ahead and do a running away roll for you with advantage.
Yeah.
So the magical girls seeing this happen, you know, they don't want to let the fucking vessel of despair get away. So the speed Miller's gonna hold back the speed boosty girl who she's currently fist fighting with, while the others are basically going to turn and start trying to follow you, and they're keeping close enough as you begin the stages of your escape, meaning you don't actually make any progress on getting away yet. But that being said, fucking Miss Golden Girl is not keeping up, so boom.
Well,
What the fuck? Oh, I know what happened. My tolerance level is turned weirdly. So I'm just gonna do this. And at this point, actually, with it just being a runaway, we're gonna get rid of that entire section as a whole. There we go.
Okay. Sweet.
So, you are... It's now a runaway with them trying to keep up with you rather than a fight.
Okay.
It is their turn. So each of them is gonna get an attack off on you guys. The first one is going to be, of course, Missy, who's trying to keep up. And as she's running, she's gonna... I'm trying to think. So, of course, any dodge attempts you get are going to be on getting an advantage because you're on the back of a fast-moving creature.
Oh yeah.
She's basically going to try and shoot at the lion as she's running after you.
Okay.
So what are you going to do as a reaction?
I remember from their intro session, you said that their power came from like the sun, right?
I said what?
Well, you had implied that their power came from like the sun, right?
Yes.
Okay, so here's gonna be a bit of funny irony. Remember how last time I hit the Vessel of Despair with like that moon?
Yes.
And I hit her with a moon?
I'm gonna say for you to have a second moon painted in this area, because you're still in the same general area, is gonna be a hero point.
Okay.
But yes, so you're gonna, that's a counterattack, so it comes with a single disadvantage.
Yeah, I would also like to spend 4 hero points to boost it.
To get 4 more dice?
Yes.
And leave the disadvantage.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as Missy starts to fire the shots, she starts shooting them, and they are immediately blocked as a large moon drops in front of her, and she slows down for a moment, and then the moon starts to roll towards her, and she screams and runs the other way. Meanwhile, Penelope, again, is similarly running after you and is going to try and no-scope you.
No-scope me?
Shoot you without looking through the scope of her barrel.
Oh. Well. Damn.
This is the second attack on you, so it comes with a disadvantage.
I'll take the risk and try and
Just dodge like normal.
Yeah. You know, have the cure in like.
So you got 2 successes, -1 from disadvantage, and 2 dice breaks, bringing you to -1 success against her getting 4 successes.
Uh-oh, I should have spent dice.
You can still spend 2 points to bring it from -1 to just 1, but then you're still losing. You're just losing by less.
How many points?
2 hero points.
Okay, I'll do that.
Or you could, of course, buy successes, but that's way more expensive.
Yeah, no, we're just gonna... We're gonna... just make it, like, bearable.
Alright, so rather than taking... a fuck ton of damage, you're just going to take 3 damage.
Yeah.
So, she fires towards you, and, like, I imagine you're, like, jerked to the side, and it hits the fucking back of the lion's head.
Oh no!
And you and your friends tumble forward off of it as it fucking demanifests.
Uh-oh.
And
Ow.
the other girl with her shotgun is gonna run towards you and try and fire at you.
Okay. Okay. I'll roll like normal.
Alright, you just try to dodge. Sorry if I'm
Yeah.
yawning a lot. We're recording this session a little late at night. And I had
That's
a
okay.
very full day. I was getting fitted for a tuxedo. Amongst other
Ooh.
things. So, you rolled 3 successes with 1 dice break, and she rolled 2 successes. This is the third attack on you in 1 turn, so it comes with an additional 2 disadvantage. So you
Oh
got
my
0
goodness.
successes against her too.
Uh-oh. How many successes did she get on me?
She got 2, you got 0.
Yikes.
So it pushes
Not
a
too
little
bad.
against your favor.
Uh-oh.
And now it is your turn. You currently have the sniper lining up shots on you and the shotgun girls floating in the air above you. Missy got chased off by the moon, and Maya is nowhere to be seen at the moment.
Okay, well, in that case, I'm gonna tell Tanya and Marcus to throw their bandoliers forward, and I'm gonna convert that into mist while running away.
Okay.
E.
So that's gonna be a runaway with 2 advantages, what I'm treating that as.
Okay, fine.
Okay. You got 4 successes and they got 3. So you do start to make progress on escaping a little bit, but they're trying to DM to keep pace. The sniper is being distracted more so while the shotgun girl high in the air is running over the mist.
Okay.
And as that's happening though, you hear the sound of, hang on, or off to the side, hang on, sorry, I'm doing rolls. What's her name? Commander Miller returns, and she's throwing, do you know what bowlers are?
No.
It's 2 to 3 balls attached to a collection of ropes, so when you throw it, it'll wrap around somebody.
Oh, a bola? Okay.
Bola, that's what I meant, bolas.
Yeah.
She throws a taser bola at the one with the sniper rifle.
Jesus Christ.
And, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 successes versus 2. She literally dealt the maximum amount of damage she could.
Oh my god.
They coil around her and they fucking tase her and zap her and she, yells out and falls over.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
And now it's the magical girl's turns.
Okay.
And Millie, she calls out, it's like, I feel like things aren't going very good with this. Who the hell is this woman?
Your mom!
Get a hero point.
Yeah!
Oh god, what was the cockatrice's name? Did it ever get its name called out? I don't think its name ever got called out. Huh. Sonny, get us out of here! And with that, you see the bird who's been trying to fly over and keep pace, he throws his wings out and you see a light starts to radiate around him for a moment.
Oh.
Are you gonna do anything with your reaction? Or are you gonna let whatever is playing out, play out?
I'm gonna do like a finger gun thing and go and try and shoot like an ink shot at him.
Ink shot. Alright.
Yeah. I'm gonna spend I wanna spend 4 hero points. I hate that thing so much. I wanna take it down.
Keep the hero points. As you fire the ink shot and it gets close, it dissolves.
Oh fuck.
Positive
That's
energy.
energy. Okay.
Miller, on the other hand, is gonna throw fucking bowlers at it. Bolas.
Okay.
And she throws the bolas, and just before they make contact, the bird disappears in a flash of light, as do all of the magical girls. She lets out a little, like, she sort of like lets out a huff. So you've seen them before?
Well, I didn't just see them. They tried to kill me, so you know, shot me in the foot. Wasn't nice. They go to my school, so kind of awkward. They give me death stares every time I pass by them. You know.
I'm surprised you're still willing to go to school with that. Please don't say that. What was his name? I almost
Marcus.
Marcus is. Please don't say that. We just got him to start going to classes again.
I'm gonna like put my hand around his and Tanya's shoulders, and I'm gonna be like, "Oh no, I'm so depressed because they're hunting me. You guys are gonna have to bring me homework. You're gonna have to walk through a trench of ramen noodles and the smell of not being bathed in 10 days. Oh."
Well, I guess now that all of the funny business is out of the way, perhaps you would like to come and see the OSP headquarters.
Teach me how to fight like you. That was so cool.
I can begin work. I can get you somebody to help train you.
I prefer kicking though, because these hands are for drawing.
So you're gonna go with her to the OSP headquarters, regional headquarters, right?
Yeah.
So you make way towards Discordant City, and who's ready for the third officially introduced ostentatious skyscraper to the skyline of Discordant City?
What?
This has become a running thing of just absolutely ridiculous skyscrapers, where we have the America United skyscraper, which is a normal skyscraper until there is on the roof of it a McMansion made out of glass and concrete.
McMansion?
Yeah, like a small old manor. It's like a little bit bigger than the rest of the skyscraper. And then there's the Vermeil Industries building, which is a normal skyscraper, except for the fact that the whole skyscraper has a black and sorry, not black, a red and yellow color scheme. And on the top of it is a big black box with the company logo, like 3 stories tall and a little bit fatter than the rest of the skyscraper, so it's just got a box on top.
Okay.
I'm enjoying giving the city awful looking skyscrapers, because like I'm thinking of, like, for example, fucking Superman with the Daily Bugle building, or Batman's skyline is filled with a bunch of Art Deco weird looking buildings. I just want stupid shit dotting the skyline.
I see.
Or like Titan's Tower is a giant fucking T.
Yeah.
She starts to bring you to the OSP skyscraper, which is one of the more tame of them. The whole skyscraper basically is like sort of conical shaped. So it gets slowly more narrow as you get higher up until it's got a radio tower on the top. But at the top of the radio tower is a helicopter landing pad.
Okay.
So it's like a whole cone and then it's got a dish on top, essentially. You and your friends get driven there, and of course they pick up all of the other fucking OSP soldiers who got fucking tainted with diseases miasma.
Mm-hmm.
They got the vid. The vessel of disease gave them the vid.
The vid?
The COVID.
Oh.
It's a joke. Haha. Diseases are funny. Global pandemic
God.
Funny.
Oh my god. What is it like inside?
So as you are brought there, the building has fucking words that I can speak out of my mouth. The building itself has an entirely white aesthetic. On the inside is a very sleek, clean, modernistic layout. The initial lobby is what you would expect from like any skyscraper lobby. And as she brings you, she would so she would not want your friends to come along. Would you try to insist or let her like not have them come?
Yeah, I try to insist.
So you're gonna do a charm check against her. She's got a very strong willpower though. So she rolls 7 dice instead of the normal 5.
Oh god.
Are you gonna spend any hero points or anything?
I'll spend 4.
So you got 4 successes with 1 dice break, and she got 5 successes. So, if you want to just dump hero points to get your friends in, it would be 5 points to buy a success. So that would be... Hold on. That would be 11 hero points to outright to get your friends in.
I'm not gonna bother then.
Yeah. So...
Be like, aww.
Yeah.
But they're so nice. I say as Tanya's robbing the vending machine out front.
Get a hero point, and she's like, all right. She's like, yeah, no, they're not going any further than the lobby.
Oh, okay.
Like I read, she's just got like her whole arm like reached up and in, and as you guys start to walk in, just in the background, she's like, I think I'm stuck.
Oh no, if only there were a hero to help you. I'm going in.
So you go into the facility, and you know, like I said, the main actual lobby is just sort of a generic ass lobby situation. And as she brings him, she's like, what do you know of the OSP?
Absolutely nothing. I should be in biology class right now.
We are the Organization of Societal Preservation. We are a group that was for we are a military or we are a has some. All right, how do I want to write? We are an extension. We are an extension of the UN. We were formed after the events of World War II in order to prevent actions akin to those of the German scientists from occurring again. Specifically, the creation of metahumans and the creation of I don't want to say metahumans. The creation of subhumans and technologies that were deemed too dangerous for wartime use.
Did that also extend to magical bullshit from centuries ago? Cause
officially, no. But I've been lobbying for that to be put into our jurisdiction considering recent events throughout the discordant city.
You like lobbies? You must play a lot of shooter games, huh?
Wait, like what?
You must play a lot of shooter games, huh? Okay.
You said sorry, I didn't hear the first part. She's kind of like what?
Oh, so you like lobbying, huh?
Oh.
You must like shooter games? That was a lame joke. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Get hero point. I have no interest in video games.
Really? Damn. Unfortunate.
Mostly for the last several years, our job has been twofold. Stopping countries from illegally utilizing dangerous weaponry, and in more excuse me. I can't use words. And trying to lobby for what should be considered dangerous technology. I still consider the greatest failure of our organization the allowing of nuclear armaments to be in existence in the first place. It's closely followed by the Vietnam Super Soldier program.
It's okay. I'm gonna like pat her and just gonna be like, they couldn't beat the trees.
That's awful. Get a hero point. I'm gonna throw out before anyone tries to cancel Zed. He is Vietnamese, so he can make that kind of a joke.
I mean, like, American kids have been making those kinds of jokes forever.
Well, yeah, but you can make the argument about other horribly offensive jokes.
Yeah.
My name is the Lorax. I speak for the trees. Well, basically what I'm saying is I'm Vietnamese.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. Or no, what I should say, got a better version of that. My name is the Lorax. I speak for the trees, and they all speak Vietnamese.
I think that's the official one.
Wait, that's an actual joke that people... I've never heard that joke.
Really? There have been so many shitposts.
I've heard the joke of the trees are speaking Vietnamese. I never heard it mixed with the Lorax.
Yeah, that's been like that for a while.
Anyway. Fucking... Yeah, she says... But our focus has been moving more and more on Discordant City in recent years. Or in the recent couple of weeks. And the giant monster attack here on the city was the first time I was able to get approval to begin looking into these affairs fully.
Oh. Have you recruited any of the other heroes? Well, I've only seen one, but you recruited that moth guy?
We've yet to be able to get into contact with him.
No.
And sadly, the U.S. military has gotten a hold of Ryuji.
I still thought his name was Jimbo. He lied to me.
Actually, I guess you wouldn't necessarily know Ryuji. The Dragon Turtle is what she says. They've gotten a hold of the Dragon Turtle.
There. Just gonna be like, well, yeah. So, what do you want me to do here?
Well, I'm going to begin giving you a tour of some of the facilities you know, or I'm arranging for you to, or I've arranged for you to receive a tour of some of the facilities. Then we'd like to run some tests to get to know exactly what you're capable of. We've never seen magic before, up close.
Well, my magic is different from, you know. I cast Fireball. I deal 8d6 damage.
Get a hero point?
Okay.
I'm sure your magic will be very different from anything we've understood.
Well, yeah, it's, but you're not gonna, like, make people, like, you're not gonna, like, make people sad in unusually cruel ways to make it work, right?
Why would we do that? Is that something your powers require?
Well, yeah, it's born from a negative emotion. Duh, I'm called the Vessel of Despair.
Well, I assure you, our ethics committee has very high standards.
Oh no, not a lot of secret organizations I see can say that. The ones that do are kind of evil.
How many secret organizations are you familiar with?
Well, there was that one from that one movie. He's just gonna start rambling from there. And then in this second movie...
As you're rambling, somebody will walk up and be like, hello. You must be Ink Shadow. And you look up and you see a 6'4", rippling muscles, black hair combed back into a long mullet, man in a
Feels
nice
targeted.
suit.
This feels targeted.
What are you talking about?
This feels very targeted.
Ah, here we go. It's Ink Shadow. I'd like for you to meet Agent. I can use words. I'd like for you to meet Agent Nels. He'll be the one showing you around the facility.
Does he have glasses?
Yes.
Can I call him Four Eyes?
Wait, or do you want him to have glasses, Ed?
Yeah, it's up to you.
Do you find glasses targeted?
Shut up.
What? No. But do you?
No.
Nah, you're not into Barbara Dilf.
No. I've expressed how I feel about these things.
No.
Anyway.
No,
gonna
don't worry.
be like-
I'm not actually trying to give you romantic interest.
Yeah, no, that guy has to be at least 30. I'm like 21. No, thank you. Just gonna look him ahead and he's gonna be like,
Ow! Just hit my
Wow,
funny
you're
bone.
oh.
But yeah,
But while you're in pain, I'm gonna be like, wow, you're built like one of my video game characters. He's gonna be looking at Werewolf Island.
I love that you pull out your phone and I imagine you pull out your phone and on Werewolf Island is your favorite werewolf BF, Fenrir, and you hold it up and like move it back and forth and notice that the two people look almost identical.
Yeah, you seem too nice. I like bad boys. I'm gonna put my phone away.
But the guy's like, oh, allow me to start showing you around. You know, you start being shown like the basics of the facility, and they're in the process of getting you a badge essentially, which will give you permission, the stuff you need to be allowed in the facility and like throughout. Now that you are officially joining the OSP.
Right.
Now, words.
Wait, have I ever showed you? Have I ever told you about what his human form looks like?
I don't know.
I don't think I have.
If we
I
ever
don't
have.
think we have.
Is he in human form or is he in wolf or foxy boy form? I imagine he'd be in fox form.
He would be, but he's just gonna be like. I'd imagine he'd be getting weird stares, so he's gonna be like uncomfortable and kind of like,
Yeah.
just get out of it. But
Oh, reveal your secret identity. Haha.
well, I mean, they're gonna find out eventually. So
So what do you look
gonna-
like?
Arm has I actually commissioned Arm for this, but I asked her if it'd be okay to show on stream, but she hasn't responded because she's probably at work. So
I mean, if you bought it, I feel like, well, I don't think it would matter. Do you think if you're that worried? I guess you just describe it for now.
but it's also like it's not finished. But
Okay. Just
basically,
describe him for now.
he's just a Vietnamese dude, but also he has like long hair, like it's tied up in like a ponytail. Lol.
All right. Long hair, Vietnamese dude with long hair and a ponytail. Got it.
Yeah. He's also got like the fucking like those like side squat bangs that like emo kids have.
And I assume he's
Kind of.
blonde.
Yeah, for the most part.
Cause Golden Fox, piss boy.
Yeah, this boy.
Eye color the same as in the art that exists on the Gas Network. Go get artwork. Try to get
Yeah,
that
it's gonna
blood.
He's just gonna be a. What are you people staring at? What, you've never seen a furry D-suit? Rude.
Oh, I love the implication that all furries just have that power. I'm sure there's plenty of furries that wish they could do that. I'm sure you're a furry that wishes they could do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Just D-suit by thinking about it. So he's gonna be like,
But yeah, so, the guy's gonna like show you around the facility, you know, that, and he's like, now that you've officially joined, you're gonna be getting a badge that gives you access to areas. They have a lot of what he shows you around is like very like basic things. The lower couple floors have a couple of little meeting rooms, and most of the rec areas is in the bottom few floors. You know, a cafeteria for people to eat, and due to the nature of their work, which he doesn't go much more detail than that, they're given a very nice amount of break areas. You know. Or a very nice break area and good lunch provided, where they basically have like fucking fast food restaurants built into the cafeteria on the ground floor.
I see.
And they have like a number of like sporting and gym areas for recreation, as well as a active shooting range with like actual firearms, and a passive shooting range where instead of firearms people can practice fighting each other with fucking with paintball guns. So like do more like, you know, actual practice. And there's an actual like, you know, real shooting gun area, but you need to like be approved to get training in there, or, you know, the thing that they train SWAT teams in.
Yeah.
But you would be allowed to just watch people practice in there. He shows you...
He's not gonna show interest in that, but he's gonna like be like, hey, where can I learn martial arts? I wanna fight like Commander Miller. He's gonna like do like punches in the air. You know?
If you want martial arts training, we can start to arrange for you to have training with somebody.
Yeah. With that being said, I prefer kicking because my hand is drawing. They're gonna be full with, you know, spray cans.
I'll show you who you can talk with to get that sorted out as part of the tour. Which, you know,
beans.
What?
Cool beans.
Beans. Sorry, from what I said, ooh, beans, and I was like, huh?
No, I said cool beans.
Yeah. He would show you they have a garage with vehicles, which you can't just take. Obviously, you would be assigned them if you're ever on a mission where you need one.
Yeah.
Words and how to speak them. There is like what is the word for a person who like distribute quartermaster? He shows you to the quartermaster who is also the person you would talk to about arranging for training.
Okay.
And lastly, he would, toward the end of the tour, he would start to take you up towards an area they've made for trying to get to know your abilities. Where Commander Miller is waiting, alongside a few other people who you've never seen. And Commander Miller she looks over and is like, yeah, good to see that the tour is done. Are you willing to participate in some tests, Zed? Or Ink Shadow?
Huh? He's like chewing on like a sandwich. Yeah.
These are some of the board members of the board of operations of OSP. They had interest in being able to meet you and see what your powers were like. It'll be interesting to have another, or one of them walks over and like takes your hand. He's like, it'll be interesting to have another subhuman working with the facility.
I wouldn't say subhuman. There's nothing really human about me at all. And he's gonna like pop like the thing, the fox one. According to, well, mythology, nine-tailed foxes come from foxes who have lived too long, so they sprout another tail. Because, well, according to prophecy, my parents were both foxes. Technically, my human self isn't real. supposed to be used as a tool to deceive humans. I should stop talking. Am I making you uncomfortable? You look uncomfortable. You look like...
No, please keep going.
Oh, well, I was gonna say, you look like a girl that no one talked to in high school because she looks weird. Nice glow up, though.
So it's just like, huh? They're all the council. I'm sort of looking like, we would love to hear more about what exactly you are. And you're not sort of sat down in a room at this point, you know. Hear your end of the stories.
Well, let's see. Well, I do. Let's see. I was found in a cave as a human baby, but then when I was 17, my black hair suddenly went blonde, and then I started sprouting all this fur, and he was gonna be in his furry form and be showing his paws and stuff. And then I could also start feeling negative emotions from people around me, and that's when I could do this. And he's gonna do the finger gun thing and shoot out the ink shot.
Interesting. Are you comfortable with us performing a number of medical examinations on you?
You're not gonna examine my penis, are you?
Jesus.
Sorry. I will actually say that.
Get a hero point.
Okay.
Think of your standard physical. Have you ever received a physical?
Well, yeah.
Actually, I feel like Ursula would have given you any of your physicals medical checks, because she wouldn't want to take you to an actual doctor.
Yeah, I've had a physical before.
Yeah.
He thinks that her physicals are normal, so.
We'd like to perform a few additional tests, though, in order to learn more about your biology. Get some DNA samples, perform CAT scans, X-rays. Get a full understanding of what you're like biologically. And we'd like to do the tests while you're in both of your forms.
Okay.
So, what would proceed is a whole lieu of medical tests, X-rays, CAT scans, which, they would ask you questions, share the results, ask things about your diet and such, what you can and can't eat if you're an omnivore or a carnivore.
Yeah.
They'd ask how your transformation works, which would break down all of that. And in the end, they would sort of I'm debating if they would share they would share the discoveries with you, and they'd mention some very interesting things they found. When doing X-rays and everything, you have bones and all of that. You're exactly what would be expected on every level of examination. Very human in every way, except for the fox traits when you're in your fox form. But what they would discover when they perform ultrasound stuffs to try and get a better look at your body and scanning you with different things, they aren't sure how much of it all is real. Wherein at a cursory glance with X-rays and other things, you definitely seem to have bones, but with tests that of a more deep level seem to suggest you don't have bones.
Oh my god, I'm boneless.
And when you're in your human form, you are indistinguishably human. Similarly, all of their DNA samples of you came back exactly the same, which is weird. Because they can't tell the difference between your teeth and your hair and your your teeth. I didn't mean to say teeth. They can't tell the difference between hair and blood and skin cells. They're all the same. All your cells are identical upon examination.
He's gonna look at them and be like, "Is that all?"
Which, by the way, they definitely would have had you turn your head and cough.
Yeah.
Um,
He's gonna be like, "That's all."
Sorry.
Instead of your sciencey bullshit, why don't you embrace, the magic?
Well, there's no standardized tests for magic.
Yeah, that's why you go case by case. You're a scientist. You're smart. All right. How about this? He's gonna pick out he's gonna look online. Okay, I want you all to watch this very, very, very sad dog movie.
Okay, you have them watch a sad dog movie.
Then he's gonna explain how his power works with the whole negative emotion thing.
As they're watching
while they're crying.
Which,
sobbing.
I guess that would lead into a slew of them doing tests of having you do your powers and them doing scans of your X-ray scans of your creatures and stuff, and taking DNA samples.
Oh yeah, he'd show off the creatures, the trees, stuff like that.
One thing that they would discover is everything you make shares your DNA. Your
That's
ink,
gross. They're my children.
Your ink shares your DNA, even when it's not turned into something. As far as they can tell, this is a secretion of your body. Not just ooh, this is spit or sweat, but this is your cells are this material, or this material is cells of you.
He's gonna think about it, and he's gonna be like, I guess that makes sense, because how it works is I have negative emotion from around me, and it gets stored inside my fur.
There would obviously be a little bit of concern brought up over the fact of negative emotion, huh? But he's gonna on the good side.
He's gonna try and draw a mustache on one of them.
Jesus. Getting a point. That's I feel like this scene is mostly a lot of montaging through them studying you and getting to know you, and you get lots of moments of testing the limits of your ability, etc., etc. And they would offer for you to have a place to stay in OSP if you wish.
A place to stay? Well, I already have a home. I do want to train here, though.
It would be much more secure to stay here.
It would. What happens if you guys turn on me? After all, I did say I want to be a free spirit. I'll play by your whole don't be evil rule, but at the end of the day, I'm going to be a free spirit.
So if you're going to keep your home, you're allowed to have it. Now, they are going to stress one more thing of, as they're talking with you, eventually you're having a talk, and they're now talking with you at length about how working for the SP is gonna work. That's when they offer you that, and you see you don't want to. And I'm just gonna mention there's one more thing. This vigilantism, it can't be kept up.
What do you mean?
Well, you are not officially, or you have no official jurisdiction to fight crime. Now, so far, the only thing you've been shown up to fight against is the giant monster. But there is concern across the city at the rise of vigilantes within the city. We're going to try and get you as an official member of the OSP, but that means you have to act within OSP jurisdiction, meaning your ability to act in American soil as a authority figure is to a degree limited. You can't continue to fight petty crime like you have. You aren't a police officer. That's it. It's vigilantism. It's literally illegal for you to go out and beat up criminals, which I think we mentioned you did off camera a bit.
Yeah, he's gonna crunch on a French fry and toss it at the scientist. And tell me this. When even petty crime is going to be committed by our villains, Who's gonna stop them? You?
Well,
Do you really have enough agents in the field to, do that? And tell me, as good as your training is, Commander Miller saw for herself what the vessel of these could do. You have guys who are trained on the same level as Navy SEALs, and they drop nearly dead within a single moment.
don't misunderstand us. We understand you're a very valuable asset, Ink Shadow, and we wish to make use of you.
Well, then I guess I have my answer. He's gonna start walking away. I'm more than an asset. I'm a person. I'm not just an evil prophecy, and I'm not an asset to be used by the likes of you, no matter how self-righteous you think you are.
Commander Miller is in the room, and she's like, we don't want you to get the wrong message. You aren't just an asset. Everybody in this room is an asset to OSP. But we are people, and as are you. But even if you don't work for our organization, you realize your vigilantism is a crime. We are trying to give you an officiality that will stop you from getting arrested when you fight something such as an arcane entity. We are granting you legal leeway, and legal support, or legal backing. Right now, if you are fighting against another vessel, and property damage occurs, you are held responsible for that. But if you're OSP, we're responsible for it. We can give you a legal defense team, and more importantly, we can direct you. We have a lot of resources, people in the city looking for the other vessels, or people around the world looking for the other vessels, looking for the witch, looking for other dangerous magical sources now that we know magic exists thanks to you. And we want you to be one of our main agents fighting against dark magic. You are more outfitted for this than anyone else.
He's gonna toss a can of fruit juice at Commander Miller, as a here, catch kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be like, fine, but when your bureaucracy fails, I'm playing by my rule, whether or not they break yours.
You notice a number of the board members who are interviewing, they look a little nervous.
After all, perhaps movies are unrealistic, but there are way too many of your kind in movies displayed as incompetent bureaucrats who would rather play their own silly word games rather than doing something that's actually meaningful.
Well,
as long as you're not just a bunch of lawyers circle jerking themselves because you want to self-impose the rule you created on me, then fine, I'll work with you.
Then one of them speaks up, it's like, are we sure we want to be hiring somebody like this? And a few of them murmur, and it's like, they're immature, they're childish. We are a militarized organization. Miller speaks up. I'd be willing to take full responsibility for anything that Ink Shadow does. I believe he's too valuable of an asset to us to allow him to walk.
He's also gonna say, again, I'm not an asset. I'm a person who wants to fight against my destiny of being this apocalyptic being. But also, he's gonna look at the one who called him childish. He's gonna be like, I'm the same being who should I walk down the path of evil, is very capable of making you remember the very traumas that have shaped your life, making you feel the traumas of the lives you haven't experienced.
I don't appreciate the threat. He like looks at you sort of like bothered, and it's like, I think you're underestimating the position you are in right now, Fox. Our society, or our organization is dedicated to the protection of society. And if you are a threat to society, we will do what we must.
And it's as Commander Miller said, I'm too valuable of an asset to walk out of here. Plus, of course I can imagine you'd be able to find someone else who deals with magic, but I am untrained. There's probably magic users way more trained than me. After all, there was that witch who summoned the kaiju. Are you just saying you can get her on your side?
He sort of like looks at you, you're like sort of bothered.
He's also going to be like, are you also saying that should your dealings with her go wrong, are you prepared to take full responsibility just as Commander Miller is going to do for me?
You're making a number of jumps in logic here, Fox. And Miller speaks up. Can we stay on topic, please? And she sort of like shoots you a look, like a like shut the fuck up kind of look. We are discussing the possibility of hiring Ink Shadow as an agent. He is a valuable asset to us for a number of reasons. And she's sort of like giving you a look of like, again, that look of like, don't talk right now. We already are fully aware that there are more vessels, and that they have powers similar to his, and that according to a number of prophecies, very few things can stand up to the vessels except for more of them. We know that more will show up, and while I've been able to contain one, we do not have a reliable way to capture others. And simply having another subhuman under our employ can be of great benefit, for our public image. In a world that is becoming increasingly less human, it'll be important for us to show that we are at the forefront in order to continue to receive UN funding. And if we employing somebody like this can show that it is worth investing into more subhumans, and shows that they are within our jurisdiction, which is the most important part of this. A number of the board members all sort of like nod. So, shall we vote on the possibility of employing Ink Shadow? All in favor, say aye. You know, there's like everybody votes, and in the end, most of them are in favor of you working. So, do we have you on board, Ink Shadow?
He's gonna look at her. Alright. Here, have a french fry. He's gonna toss one at her.
Where the fuck are you getting all this?
I'm stealing it from someone's plate.
You guys aren't having a dinner. You're at a board meeting, a boardroom.
You wanna snuck some in?
Jeez. So, like, this is most of your day, is all of this talking and stuff.
Yeah.
And as like the meeting ends, she's like, I'll take you to get some papers to sign. And as you make your way out, she's like, what were you doing in there?
Saying what needed to be said. Besides,
this isn't some action movie where you are fighting back against an evil bureaucratic organization. We are a UN organization dedicated to the protection of society, and you are actively threatening board members. You do realize that you are not human. You are an unknown entity. That puts you squarely within the jurisdiction of what we are to handle. And if the board considered you a threat, you could have been detained in there.
You believe me to not be suicidal?
Wait, what?
He's gonna look at her.
What?
Tell me. Do you think you could go every single day with every single person telling you, well, not every single person, but most of the unusual folk like yourself, that you are destined for great evil? I have a plan for what happens if someone tries to take control of me.
Do you think that they
ends
would
my
let
own
that
life.
do you think that they would let that happen?
Well,
I want you to understand, I am not your enemy, Zed. I'm trying to give you the best option you have right now. If not us, then the US military, US police force, or some other unknown entity is gonna come after you. Sooner or later, you and all of the other subhumans are going to have to pick a side.
See, you tell me it's not like an action movie, and yet, somehow, the soldiers, though more well-trained than I am, they fell like flies. Miller.
Because we're facing unknown entities. Because this is untreaded ground. It's magic. We didn't even know that thing was going to be showing up at the scene. We weren't prepared for a fight against a creature like that. But that's why I want someone like you on my team.
You really think I'm prepared to deal with it either? I'm still learning about my powers.
But you are more equipped for fighting these entities, just by nature of what you are. But I need you to understand that I am on your side. And that means I'm going to need you to listen to me, and by extension listen to the board of directors. And I'm going to need you to understand that talking like that is the kind of thing that gets you locked in a cell. We've encountered subhumans that are uncooperative, ones that are of the same level of threat as you. And they're locked in test cells being examined until we can either turn them human or until we can either fully understand them or turn them human again. You're not the first thing unusual thing we've encountered. You're just the first one that can be described as magic. It doesn't have an explanation to what you are.
He's gonna like turn away and start walking again, with like his hands on the back of his head.
What do you mean, like walking away from her? Where she's, because the two of you were sort of walking, I was thinking.
Yeah, like walking with her, but like he's not gonna make eye contact.
Listen, you're young. I understand that. But really, the moment you started appearing publicly and doing this, you invited yourself into a world of danger. A world of danger that I'm trying to protect you from.
How can I really trust that you're not like that witch? These board members aren't like that witch, coming to me, promising me stuff, and only to turn around and want to use me. Not even my friends know this, but every day I struggle with the negative emotions. But the worst ones are my own. They speak louder than the rest.
I know the language in that room, asset, wasn't making you comfortable. But you need to understand, in an organization like this, everybody here is an asset. I'm an asset, you're an asset. Either you're an asset or you're a cost. And that's what they were trying to determine, if it was worth hiring you. Because, again, there's no standard on how to handle you. how to handle all of you things out there. But ever since the monsters in Discordant City appeared, the UN is talking. They're debating if all of these superheroes fall under OSP's jurisdiction, and if they do, how we're meant to handle you. That's why I'm trying to address you before they can. There's talks going on right now on whether or not whether or not world military should be going after you folk. Not just you, but the Moth, the Moth, the Moth, Pink Knight, other heroes that are in public eye, which is actually very little of, now that I think about it. But, you know, like I said, or like you were told when you first came here, OSP's duty is to protect humanity as a whole from itself, from dangers that it's not ready for. There are things more dangerous than nuclear bombs that people have made, and we keep them out of wars. But now, those dangerous things aren't being used in wars. They're walking the streets and fighting petty criminals. They're breaking the law. Because in the end, that's what you're doing when you're fighting crime. You're breaking the law. Do you know how many of the criminals that you're the Moth stopped have actually been put in jail?
It's gonna, like, just stay silent.
Very little of them. Because there are vigilante laws. Because if somebody is committing a crime and there's no police around to see it before they're beat up and stopped, there's no evidence to what they did. Maybe the victims can take them to court and sue them, but they're not going to jail. At least in very few cases are they. And
what was I supposed to do? Some of them were being robbed. What worse? Just stand there and do nothing?
I'm not saying what you're doing is bad. It's good of you to want to help use your gift and help these people to fight against what ancient cultures believed you were. But the way things are in the world, in some cases, you hold the potential to cause more harm than good in your attempts to help. Like we said in the boardroom, what happens if one of your fights with a vessel escalates? What happens if civilians get hurt? If there's damage to public property? How would people react? But if you are operating independently, or if you aren't officially supported, that's when people become scared of you. That's when legislation gets passed. That's when this falls quickly out of your and my hands. But now, we're doing things the right way. You're an agent of the OSP. If something goes wrong, there's accountability. If you do something wrong, you aren't going to get in trouble immediately. I am. Because I've taken that burden.
There's gonna be, like, a little peer that falls from, like, him, but he's not gonna, like, face her. But then he's gonna say, I'm on board, but one little teeny thing. I only answer to you.
As much as I'd like for it to be that way, that isn't how this works. We're a UN operation. We answer to the world. Now, there is hierarchies and there is liberties and freedoms, but if things get too out of hand, both you and I have to answer to higher powers. It's simple as that. You're in an
Fine. If it's someone you answer to, then I answer to them too.
Exactly. But there's a chain of command, and you are part of it. And don't worry. There's a reason that I'm the one who's taken on responsibility. And with that, you guys finally step off into another room. She's like, welcome to Discordant City's para-human branch. And you look into the room, you can see there's a couple of people like straight up like floating around the room, and some guys with like lizard skin. Like subhuman entities. Like there's not a lot of them, but there's a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, you're the first magic thing we've found. You're not the first inhuman. You're not the first parahuman. Or
Parahuman
subhuman.
has a nicer tone than subhuman.
Sadly, both are officially used terms.
Ooh.
It mostly comes down to, well, you're the first one that's literally not human. Everybody here was the result of experiments by the USSR, by the Reich, by scientists locking themselves in Siberian tundra or deep in deserts. There's a lot more going on in the world than you might realize. And that's because we keep people safe from these things, or from the fear of these things.
He's gonna like.
I'm gonna stop playing your theme music, by the way. It's been looping for a while.
It's okay. He's gonna walk around, you know, kind of be like in awe a little bit, but he's gonna stop and he's gonna like let out a little sigh. Ah. By the way, let's keep what I said out of earshot of my friends, okay?
Of course. And I hope you understand everything that happens here is out of earshot of them.
Mm.
We are a top secret organization. If any information here slips out into the general public, well, the fear is less the general public and more so those who would abuse the information. We have dangerous things kept here, not just, you know, people like yourself, but items. Things that if people even knew was possible would be catastrophic, potentially. But for now, let's get a contract together for you.
All right.
And like at this point, you're now going to be given like the specifics of your job. Like you're basically a secret agent at this point. Like you're not a secret agent. You're very publicly known. And they're in the so she mentions that currently there is no like, you know, coverage for your vigilantism officially. And they don't hold jurisdiction to stop petty criminals. So, like, you can't be fighting petty criminals. But if you fight, they're already in the process of getting approval to handle magical entities. If you get in a fight with if you see the witches, or if you see the slime monsters that got loose in the city, or if you see anyone using magic or superpowers to cause trouble, you are allowed to go and stop. Like, she's basically like, yeah, go stop it. I'll worry about the paperwork and the fallout that comes from it. It's more important that you, as an agent operating in the field, have the freedom to fight something dangerous when it shows up. You know? Like, you are officially, on paper, a field agent. That being said, there will be times where you will be called on and brought to a location because they have something that they see and they want you to fight it because they think you can fight it. You know?
Okay. They're also gonna be like, man, am I gonna miss school for this?
Nah, or she's like, ideally, no. You're going to continue living your life like normal, but you're now on government payroll as a field agent. Like, how do I put it? Like she said, like, you are going around the city, if you see anything subhuman, you have full jurisdiction to go and stop it. But you don't officially have jurisdiction to stop petty crimes. But she understands that she's not going to be able to just stop you from doing that. So she's going to start to explain to you how to do it the right way.
Okay.
There's a thing called citizen arrest law, where if a person sees somebody committing a crime, you can arrest them. But you're not supposed to just beat a person up, tie them to a street lamp, and leave. With, like, your signature written on the wall. You subdue the criminal with as little violence as you can, and you wait for the police to show up on the scene.
Okay.
And when the police show up, that's when you tell the police what you know and you let them handle the arrest. That's the problem that you superheroes have been having, is that you're just tying up criminals and leaving, and then that's a problem because there's, like, a lot of legal problems with that, where basically the criminal is now the one who's allowed to paint the story, or a possible victim if they stayed behind. But officially, you've committed assault.
Okay.
And she's like, like, you're now going to be in a potentially legally tough ground at this point. Now that we're going to be starting to put you in a officiated position, some of the criminals you arrested already might come at you with legal class action suits. And she's like, I'm gonna try and handle that. I'm gonna try and make as much of that go away without getting in you, like, becoming a problem for you as possible. Because luckily, a lot of these people probably won't even pursue you. Like,
hey, Ollie.
What?
I have something against them.
What?
You know how I'm a public hero, right?
Yeah.
You know how my friends and I have done those skater montages, right?
Yeah.
Who's to say I haven't recorded myself,
Fighting crime?
Yeah, but, like, being it too.
That's totally fair, but again, legally they can still try and take you to court. You're probably gonna win in any court case you're brought into. But there are some of these, like let's say in the couple of months you've probably stopped maybe 20-25 crimes. Of those 20-25 crimes, it'd be surprising if one or two of them would take you to court, but that's still going to be a problem. So she's letting you know, like, hey, I'm letting you know this is a thing that could happen in the near future. She's just preparing, like, don't expect it, but be prepared if something happens.
All right. I do get a lawyer, right?
Yeah. You have the full legal protection of OSP, and now technically you are an international agent. Like, you are a government, you are a agent of a organization that works outside of any one country. Now that does come with a whole slew of leniencies, but a whole slew of problems with it, in that if you stop a petty, if you are still an American citizen, which helps you in a lot of ways when operating in Discordant. You can do citizen arrests, which, again, she's talked you through the process of it, and she's even going to give you, here's some handcuffs, here's a walkie-talkie here's a communication device to contact me, here's the numbers to call local police, 911, but not just 911, but, the actual local police station's phone numbers, a thing that a lot of people overlook exists. And she's like, she talks you through the process of, how to issue a citizen's arrest so that you can do your vigilante crime better. And she tells you that, primarily your job with OSP now is, one, she will pull you, if they think there's a mission where you are needed, you will be brought, taken to it. And that means it may get in the way of your education.
Oh, boy.
And two, if you, again, the UN laws are still going out, so it is shaky ground to have you fighting crime right now. But now, like, if any problems arise, it's gonna fall on her, not you. She's trying to be your friend right now because she knows you're a good person from what she's seen.
Mm-hmm.
So she's putting her neck out for you, and she's basically like, if you see any metahuman or any parahuman, any like one with superpowers or magic or weird shit committing crimes, like, you are she's like, step in, go do it. You have to mention that you're with OSP, like, officially, you know, like, be like, oh, Agent Inkshadow of the OSP,
Mm-hmm.
and stop them. Currently, that's still technically illegal, but that's going to, as so long as you say you're with OSP is now the ones who are going to be handling the situation, you know?
Okay. Miles.
Yeah, there's in the background all of these talks with the UN going on, trying to give OSP the official jurisdiction to handle these situations, and you just being an agent is probably going to help with that in a lot of ways.
Okay.
But with that, I think we are wrapping up session at this point.
Okay, dokie.
Do you have any questions for Agent Miller or me?
Not the current moment. Oh, well, I would ask her to, like, teach me, like, kickboxing or something.
Yeah. She'll arrange for you to have a trainer. And you said you're not living with the facility?
Yeah, actually,
that-
he would. He would ask if he could tell Dr. Ursula, since she is his caretaker, and he feels like she has a right to know what he's gotten himself into.
So you can tell her that you work for them, but you can't share any private details of, like, your missions.
Okay.
You know?
In that case, I want to actually chat with her.
Ursula?
You know, yeah, he's gonna be like,
So,
hey.
okay, for the closing moment of the session, we're gonna come to, like, it is late at night. You've been out fucking doing shit with Miller all day, getting the tests, we're officially getting employed by them, etc. You are returning home. It's like, you don't strictly have a curfew, but there's a time that your mom expects you home most days. And as you return home, she looks over, she's like, oh, thank God you're home. You're here. I was just starting to get worried. Like, she goes over and gives you a hug. With all that's been happening in the city and with you lately, I was worried about the worst.
Well, it is something that's not ideal, but I don't really have a choice, and he's gonna, like, explain the whole OSP stuff.
Yeah. She's not too thrilled about it.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, you know, if it were up to me, I'd be with some more magically equipped people, but it's not like there's some magical organization out there.
Well, I guess I'm gonna work for them too.
What?
I'm not gonna let you work with them alone. And I know you better than anyone else. Hell, I changed your diapers. I helped you understand how you transform. I'm sure I can give them valuable information.
That first one's embarrassing. Don't mention that.
And maybe I can provide them with some things they need to know. She sort of, like, taps, like, thinking, and with that, the camera's gonna pan over. And do you remember a teaser we had several episodes ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, our camera's just gonna delicately pan. Yeah, our camera's gonna delicately pan into her room where she's still got a bunch of magical shit just there.
Just there. He's also gonna be like, well, if you're gonna join me, then he's gonna, like, give her, like, not like a death stare at her, but kind of like a really serious look that's usually not on his face. You need to help me. Just being in that room pissed me off, and I don't know why, but I threatened someone. I threatened to do something to them that never really occurred to me to make them feel past traumas, and that doesn't feel like me. That's
not me.
Oh, Zed. She like pulls you into a hug. She's like, oh, it's alright. I know that's not you. Just don't worry, okay?
Actually thinking everything they said was right. Why did I say that? Like, is my power more than just power? Am I? My God, what if the prophecy comes true?
Zed, don't worry. All this prophecy stuff, it's nothing to worry about. Just old and scared people, you know? And that's actually where we're gonna have the closing image of the camera panning into her room and all of the magical things. And in particular, there is a statue of a fox with very distinct and familiar markings on it, similar to the ones that you have on your, like, you know, your artwork of your character.
Boy.
And all over it is little magical seals and stuff, and you can see like they're sort of like moving and flowing, and like some of them are sort of dissolving. And that's where we're gonna end session.
Alright.
Yay. So I hope all the YouTube people have enjoyed. Yeah. And we'll see everybody next time, I suppose. You know, go check out some of the other Heroes sessions, check out some Hero Infinite in general. Some interesting stuff's been going down in Bendover's plot if you want to swing by and check that shit out.
Yeah, that's my friend. Check them out.
But anyway, all of you have a wonderful day. Ta-ta!
Bye bye.